Hello. Hello, good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. Hello, as you're coming in, go ahead and say hi in the chat box. Hi, everyone. We're going to hang out for a few minutes while people are getting on. So yeah, go ahead and say hi in the chat box, and you can let me know what you're drinking. I have some homemade kombucha here. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Julie. Great to see you all here tonight. And I also love, as you're coming in, to kind of on a scale of 1 to 10, right in there, how inspired do you feel right now? So hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Beth. It's early evening. Beth, 8.5 inspired. Awesome. That's a good number, I think. It's solid. You've been doing some work, I bet. Eleanor, you have lemon water. That sounds delicious. 7. It was a rough day, but ready for art. Hey, I still think 7's pretty good. I feel like anything over 5, and I'm like, all right, I'm all right. I'm doing okay. 8. Yay, we got lots of really inspired folks tonight. Yay. Always have, yeah, Julie says she always has room for more inspiration. Me too. I feel like that's true. I think even if I was at a 10, there would still be room for more inspiration, right? There's always like some new discovery we had. Robin, hi, welcome. Feeling a 7. Excited, but a little nervous. Awesome. No need to be nervous tonight because we are going to be doing the most simple thing. I promise you, anyone can do it. Actually, I want to say that this is inspired by a client of mine. I'm not going to say her name because I didn't get to ask her if it was okay if I did. But when she sees this, if she's here or watching the replay, I know she'll be like, "Ooh, I bet I inspired that." So anyway, thanks for the inspiration to my secret client. And let's go ahead and get started. So before we really dive in, I just want to say, whatever you have to create with is good. I am going to be creating in one of my Cosmic Smash books. So I've got just some like wrinkled up lined pages there. I've got a variety of different like paints and markers. I'm going to be using some crayons tonight. And I'm probably going to use, I've got this cool stamp. If you've got a stamp or a stencil, you might want to pull it out. But if you don't have that, no worries. You can still do what we're doing. So let's see, what else do I want to get started with? I guess I just want to let you know, I know a lot of you already know me, but if you don't know me, my name is Elizabeth Foley. I'm an artist and a creativity coach. So I help women get in touch with their creative spirit and feel more joy and fulfillment in their lives through committing to their creative practice and feeling safe and free to create. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm a really big fan of intentional creativity. So creating with an intention behind it. This is a process taught to me through Shiloh Sophia. And so we're going to be diving into a little bit of that tonight. We will be here for about 40 minutes or so. I already kind of mentioned materials. My intention is to give you a process that you can go to anytime that you're like, I want to create, but I don't know what to do. And also maybe help you kind of dive into some of those deeper reasons why sometimes you want to create, but then you don't do it for whatever reason, right? Because we all have those reasons. So this is our third Inspiration Now art party. We've got one more coming up next week. We have been looking at how we can really cultivate inspiration. So our first week, we looked at creating a foundation for inspiration, and we made a grounding page so that we could get grounded and ready to receive the inspiration. Last week, we looked at oh goodness, what do we do? Inspiration. Oh yeah, how to cultivate inspiration, right? Creating our garden of inspiration by going out and seeking ideas and seeking those things that light us up and inspire us. And tonight, what I want to talk about is how to just show up, whether you feel inspired or not, right? Because I think we all know that. I'm seeing the last comment I'm seeing in the chat box right now is Margie saying she's at a 5 and she's feeling a little sick today. So first of all, I want to say I hope you feel better. And like, way to go for showing up even though you weren't feeling 100%, right? It's super easy when we're not feeling 100% to just be like, nah, I don't need to show up, or I'm not going to. But I think when we're seeking out that feeling more inspired, the one way we can really build that is just to show up and see what happens. Because oftentimes when we start working, we find that inspiration. So that's the invitation for this evening. And before we dive into our process today, I want to start with just leading us in a few deep breaths so we can all just get really like present here together. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes with me for just a moment and just let your attention settle on your breath, just noticing however it is right now in this moment. And just feeling your chest rising and falling. Noticing as your breath is passing in and out of your nostrils. And now just noticing anything that's been going on before this moment, anything that's weighing on you or keeping you from being fully present. Let's take a deep breath in together. And as we exhale, just letting that go. And now noticing anything that's coming in the future, anything that's pulling you ahead of this moment. Let's take a deep breath in together. And as we exhale, just doing our best to let that go. And now let's take one more deep breath together, breathing in this moment, right here, right now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. That feels good. So what I want to start with today is just doing a little free write on our page. You can use whatever material you want. If you use something that's water-based, it's probably going to bleed later, could create interesting effects. If you use something that's permanent, then it won't do that. So you can use whatever you want. I am going to use a pen. And what I want you to do is just fill your page and write down, like, what are those thoughts that take you out, right? So when you go to create, what is that thing in your head? Like, I know that just one night this week, I was like, I should really make some art. And I walked into my studio and I looked at the desk and it was covered in stuff. And I cleaned up like 3 things and I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't have the energy to deal with that, right? So part of my conversation was like not having the energy. Part of my conversation was the space was too messy. So what are those thoughts when you go to create? What are the things that take you out? Is it energy? Is it time? Is it space? Is it feelings of not being good enough? Put them all down on the page. And while you're starting to write, I'm going to move the camera down so you can see what I'm up to. All right. So it's a little bit of a trick getting my camera to cooperate. So whenever I do this kind of free writing, let's get these out of the way here. I like to force myself to write in cursive. Oh, are you all still hearing me? I'm getting some internet issue notifications. If you want to just put a note in the box if you're hearing me okay. Okay. Yeah, and also that's great. Thanks, Julie. If you want to throw in the box some of the things that are the things that take you out, you can do that. And anyway, what I was starting to say there is I like to write across the page. So, and I like to force myself to write in cursive because it makes me kind of think with a different part of my brain. So, and sometimes I'll just write the prompt again. So when I want to create but don't, I often feel like I don't have the energy. I'm just going to encourage you to kind of fill your page up for now. And as you can see, it really doesn't matter if anybody else can read this or even if you can read it. What are those things that take you out? You might want to, if you get stuck, you could write something like, sometimes I don't create because. See, I'm too tired. Or maybe sometimes I don't create because I'm afraid it won't be good enough, or it won't be as good as so and so's. Maybe because I don't know what to do. Or let's see, what else have I heard? Sometimes I know sometimes people don't create because they think it's a waste. Because what's the point of creativity? Or Julie, like you said, because the other things on your to-do list seem more important. Okay, good. I'm glad everybody's hearing me okay. Perfect. Let's see. Beth is saying, yeah, lack of time, energy, space. Too many ideas and not enough time. Julie says, sometimes I feel like I'm trying too hard to be awesome. Julie, I think awesome just comes naturally. You don't have to try so hard. All right. So our next step today, and if you want, you can also add an intention to this page, you know, something that you're learning or exploring in this. And mine might be, I'm just going to write it in pen, and I'm going to kind of do it at a different angle. I'm going to do it like this. I think my intention is going to be show me how to do my creative practice even when I don't feel like it. That's what mine's going to be. Or you could also say, you know, my intention is to learn how to show up for my creative practice, or how do I need to be to be able to commit to my creative practice. So any kind of riff on this that resonates for you. Show me how to do even when I don't feel like it. Okay. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to create a scribble here. Now, for anybody who's hung out with me, you might have seen me do a scribble drawing. This is going to be a little different. If you want, you can actually keep your eyes open for this, or you can close your eyes. My encouragement, though, is that you put your pen down once, and then you don't pick it up, and that you cross, if you have a spread like this, that you cross the center, and definitely that you fill a good bit of your page. So, oh, I love Sandra sharing your intention. Thank you. Anybody, of course, you're welcome to share your intention. Sandra's is create more for the fun of it, less for the outcome. Beautiful. I love that. All right, so we're going to make a scribble, and we're going to fill our page, and you can close your eyes if you want. I am not going to. And I'm just going to pause for a second. You do want to create lots of these spaces. We're really interested in these spaces right now. You can do sharp lines or wavy lines or whatever you want, but do create some of these spaces. I'm trying, yeah, I kind of wanted to have it all be connected. I have some thoughts. Okay, so that's going to be my scribble. And now the next step is we're going to fill in these spaces. And, you know, I started out with saying that one of my intentions in sharing this with you is to give you just something that you can just do when you're not even sure what to do and you don't have any ideas. And I love this because it kind of creates like a coloring page, right? But it's like your own voice, your own art. So we're going to start filling in. And while we're filling in, I would like for you to be kind of holding this idea, because we're going to be playing with different patterns and things of like, how can you shift this pattern of the not showing up, right? The other thing, so that's just sort of the mind space to be in. Yeah, so let's start putting some color down. You can do this however you want. I would just encourage you to like grab the first color that looks interesting and start filling some things in. And you might fill some things in with solid colors, or you might, oh, that marker is done. Let's see, do I have another marker that color? Well, let's see, when things don't work, just go to something else. I'm just gonna fill this one in all the way. And anytime I put down a color, I'm gonna put it in at least 3 places on the page. You can do more, or you can, but I would encourage at least 3 places just to make it aesthetically pleasing. All right, so I'm gonna do that one for now, and then let's see, good. All my favorite color markers are getting a little low in the ink department. So yeah, you might do some solid colors, but you might also do like some patterns. Like I'm just gonna do some stripes, or you could do some circles. So again, as you're doing this, the inquiry is like, what are those, we've written down the patterns already that we have, the patterns of not showing up. How can we shift? What are the new patterns that we're going to create? Sometimes creating a new pattern is as simple as one small choice. So, if you're here creating along with me, just really encouraging you to choose the colors and the patterns excuse me, that feel good for you. The other thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to start using some crayon. And I like to use crayon sometimes because it creates a resist. And I'll show you why I'm using that later. So I'm going to put some crayon. Actually, I'm going to use this green. I'm going to color this. So one of the reasons that I like to create these like resist spaces, actually, let's do just a little more before I do the next step. What I'm going to do is create boundaries around this block, and then I'm going to stamp some pattern into that block. And you could also stencil something into a space. Let's see, where else do I do this? Here. Yeah, here. Okay. So I have this great big stamp, and so if I just like put paint all over this and try, I'm gonna get it everywhere, but the wax will help create kind of a resistance. So, and I'm gonna use some watercolor paint to do this. Great. And I'm just gonna paint it on here. And I think before I put it on the page, I'm just gonna test it somewhere else. Oh, look, it's kind of just a junk page right now. Well, I'm glad I did that because that's not super pretty. I forgot I had all this paint on here, so that's gonna come off. So maybe we'll just stick with some green then. Yeah, I mean, if you have stamp pads, you can use those as well. I kind of like the look of watercolor. I like to mix things up, you know? Use supplies in non-traditional ways. Yeah, it's kind of, there's a sweet spot with these stamps, right? It's like that first bit's too much, and then kind of in there is what's really good. So yeah, I'm not gonna put paint on the whole thing. I'm just gonna do like enough to fill that section. Let's see how it turns out. Cool. That looks great, actually. I need a paper towel. Then what you can do with that is just like, it'll just wipe right off those crayon sections. And I'll worry about that later. So I like doing this with the crayon, creating these like boundaries, because I think about, like for me, I know that in order for me to be able to show up for my creativity, like to feel like it more often, that I have to create boundaries, right? Like not only with other people in my life, but just with myself, like the boundaries to go to bed at a decent time. I didn't do that yesterday. There's just not been enough coffee in the world for me today. Let's see, where am I going to put this? I'm going to put it right here. Right, and again, I'm just going to wipe this off of the crayon section, which should come mostly off, or maybe create a really cool effect like that. So yeah, this is the piece here where I just really want to invite you into playing. Another way you can create some boundaries is actually you can just put, like, I'm going to put that there so that, you know, it's just creating an edge for that. Cool. And then, the one cool thing is this is watercolor, so often you can get it to smear around. So like, I'm just going to paint this section in this green. Since I got stamp all over the place. For me, there's something really interesting about like using a stamp that's too big for the space, because I like to kind of be in that place of like what is going to happen. Right? I guess if you think about cultivating inspiration, that's one way I do is sort of using things and using materials in non-traditional ways and seeing what happens. Right? Interesting surprises come up. Other thing that I can do, so if I have a section like this section here where it's kind of muddy and I don't like it, I'm going to bring in some Sharpie and just fill that in with there be some dark spaces and like that. All right. So I'd love for you to share in the chat box, what are some of the fun
patterns that you're playing with right now. Are you using a stamp or a stencil? Yeah, share with us. Maybe if we all share our different ideas, we'll give each other inspiration. That was something we were talking about last week, how we cultivate inspiration. I think community came up with a lot of it, being in community, getting ideas from people in the community. Okay, the other thing you might want to do is use a stencil. So like I have this stencil. I'm gonna use that. Ah, it's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, that doesn't look good. So what can we do to shift that? Right? And I love these things, these moments in art making, right? Remember how we wrote down like show me, like mine was show me how I can show up even when I don't feel like it. Um, I feel like that's an answer, right? It's like my art, I'm able to say, okay, that didn't work. How can I do it differently? Like, how can I do that in those moments? Like I think about that moment I shared with you earlier, um, about that I wanted to do some art and then I came into my studio and the whole table was covered in stuff. And then I was just like, nope. And I walked away. Right. How could I look at that? Like I just looked at that mess of a stencil section and just shifted it by filling it in. Maybe a way of shifting it in a moment would be to just like take my markers out to the dining room table. Ah, I like that, Eleanor. Her scribble turned into a rabbit lady who had some wisdom for her. I love that. And here she saw a J for just a listen. That's beautiful. I love that. All right. Anybody else getting any messages from theirs yet? I don't know. I'm gonna actually put this around. I don't know what this is, but this is a weird shape, and I'm like really tempted to like try to change this shape, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna just color it in and see if it turns into something. All the rest of my scribble is very nice looking hoops that I like, and this is like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. It's a little inappropriate, maybe. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's a message for me. I'm sure I can. Oops, sorry about the wiggly camera. Who knows? Maybe something will come through, or maybe I'll change the shape. Something. I go back and add pattern to me. Like I want to do, pick it up. I highly recommend waiting until the paint's dry, the page is dry. I'm not necessarily following their advice right now. Julie, she says she does the same thing going to another table, but now all her tables have art supplies on them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that too. Sharing my home with other people really holds me accountable to not covering the dining room table with art supplies. So I just keep throwing in more and more colors. It's starting to get a little crazy. I think for a little while I'm going to kind of work with these same colors. And I might use some of the same colors but in different ways to fill in my section. I think it's time for some new Tombow markers. Well, if any of you have used these Tombow markers, but I love that they have this, oops, can you see that? Brush tip on one side and then the pointy tip. The pointy tip on the other side. I think it's one about Tombow markers. Let's see. I'm going to do this section here. Well, I can tell I use this purple a lot. And both ends are about all right, I'm going to try this pencil one more time. I think I'm going to try it with some acrylic paint. I really love this practice too. As a great practice, I know that there's some of you out there that are like, it's hard to find the time. You know, I know that for myself. Um, and so the thing I love about this practice is that you can start it and then just come back and color it another day. You know, you can just do a few sections at a time. As much as I don't want to admit this, I was watching TV last night and was working on one, coloring it in front of the TV, which felt really good. Just to like be doing my creativity while I really just like didn't feel like doing it. Finding that this looks better in these larger sections, kind of a large pattern. I always wish that I could turn on video for everyone here because I would love to see what you're making. But if you want to come over, a lot of us are in the Facebook group called the Spiritual Living Sister Circle. You can search for that if you're not already in there and come join us over there and share what you're creating and what you created tonight. I said we go for about 40 minutes, so we're kind of coming up to the end of our time here. I want to show you a couple of things that I do to kind of bring these little pattern creations together. Okay. So I'm going to have to be careful because that's still a little wet. And obviously there's still some sections that I want to keep filling in here. But one thing that you can do to kind of bring this together too is I like to go back after I've filled in a lot of sections, and I like to darken these lines a little. And I feel like it just like cleans it up, especially if you've colored outside the lines a little bit. I try to not indulge my perfectionist too much, but here and there, she likes it. And like here, I kind of created a shape where there wasn't one, so I'm just going to clean that up so it's nice and line. So, or like here, I got paint over my lines, so I'm going to just darken it up a bit. Yeah, you can see how that gives it kind of a sense of more completion. And then, of course, it doesn't feel complete unless I put a little bit of something sparkly on it. Just looking for my, there she is. Oh, these are stuff. These inspire me. Metallic Sharpies. Oh my goodness. They excite me so much. So I'm going to fill in some of that here. And really, normally that darkening in those lines would be the very last step that I do. So you can do it if you can keep going if you want. Just wanted to show you that before we run out of time. All right, so that's where mine's going to land for now, and I'm going to keep working on it. I know for sure I'm going to add some more of these dark sections in. I feel like it needs that to really make it pop, and probably some more of this pink, because that's like, I'm really digging this color right now. I'm right there. So yeah, I'm going to play with this some more and add some more watercolors and encouraging you to play some with yours and come share it with us so that we can see. I'm going to bring you back up for just a moment. Whoops. Sorry about the crazy camera stuff. All right. So first of all, I want to thank you all for joining me and then remind you that we've got one more art party next week. So tell your friends. We're sending some emails out about that at the beginning of next week. It'll be the same time next Wednesday, starting at 8:30 Eastern. I also want to let you know, I know a lot of you, when we came into the call, we were saying how inspired we are. And if you're like consistently landing at 7 or 8 and you're feeling really good, then that's awesome. That's wonderful. I'm glad you're here, like continuing to fill up your tank of inspiration. But if you're not feeling that way all the time, I want you to know that it doesn't have to be that way. And that it can be, I know it can be really hard to change patterns and see what's holding you back by yourself. And so I want to offer you a free creative breakthrough session. So this is a one-on-one coaching call with me where we'll take a look at what's holding you back, what's keeping you from really feeling that inspiration, passion, and excitement about your life and your creative practice. And we'll make a plan to help you start moving forward so that we can move you up the scale from just feeling like blah, 5 or something to being like one of those like, yes, I'm feeling like 8, 9, and 10 consistently. So if you're interested in that, really encouraging you to take advantage. Just hit reply to any of the emails that I've sent you. Let me know that you want to talk, and I'll reach out to you and we'll set up a time to connect. So take advantage of that. That is not something that I offer often. So yeah, go ahead, hit reply. Let's talk. Let's get you feeling inspired. So thanks again for joining me all, and look forward to seeing you next week and seeing what you've created tonight. All right. Well, I hope that this has helped you feel a little more inspired as we're saying goodbye. If you want to throw, another number, like, did your inspiration level go up during this practice tonight? I know I'm excited to like keep working on this now, and I think it's a great container because I know it'll be really easy later. If I just need a little dose, I can just come fill in a few more sections. So, all right, signing off now. Thanks again for joining me. Good night, everybody. Oh wait, I'm seeing comments come in, so I'm going to give it just a second before I sign off so I can see all your comments. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag between me talking and seeing your comments. I'm pumped and feel a 9 coming on. I love that, Karen. Yay. Bye, everyone. Oh, Deb, you missed it. Well, don't worry. The recording's going to go out. Basically, what I'll do, I'll turn this off. I'll start downloading it. I'll upload it, and then I'll send it out to you. So it'll probably be about an hour or so, depending on how quick my internet's working tonight. All right. Thanks again for joining me. Y'all have a great night. Much love to you all.